Irish guy, and right, there's only 2 weeks left of the summer transfer window. What weird transfer is your club about to make? For example, Jesse Lingard is training with West Ham after being knocked back by Wayne Rooney in the MLS. In other news, I wonder if Rooney knows that Thogden is chatting on the internet to his 13-year-old son. Anyway, weird transfers that don't make sense or look about as weird as Conor McGregor calling out KSI.
He couldn't box eggs if he worked in an egg boxing factory.
Right, let's go. Arsenal David Raya. Poor Aaron Ramsdale. I feel sad for this man. He must feel so insecure. He signed a new long-term contract with the Emirates in May, and yet now, just a few months later, Mikel Arteta is already chilling with a new goalkeeper. It's probably like Logan Paul getting engaged, and then, I don't know, continuing to scroll Tinder on his phone. I've already said this, but it's quite a fitting analogy because Raya is literally the name of a dating app for famous people. It's probably just got Mark Goldbridge swiping until he matches with Mariah Carey. Yeah, he'll be swiping until he's dead. David Raya is a good goalie, but this is so unnecessary. We have seen the goalkeeping situation at Arsenal get toxic in the past. Have lessons not been learned? Jens Lehmann literally had a feud with his number 2 Manuel Almunia. They kept slagging each other off in the media, probably tried to poison each other's cereal, and guess what? Arsenal didn't win nothing. When Bernd Leno first joined Arsenal, the great Petr Cech was getting disrespected by Bayer Leverkusen's Twitter admin, who for some reason were campaigning for the goalkeeper they just sold to start every match. This will only end in tears. You are basically just pitting England's number 2 against Spain's number 2 and praying for the best. Neither are elite, neither are world class, they're both on the same level, and yet one of them, most likely Ramsdale, is gonna just be an unhappy toad sitting on the bench. Aston Villa, Nicolo Zaniolo. I thought Aston Villa were ambitious now. I thought that the days of buying troublesome Flash Deadwood were gone. Well, Michael Richards is a lovable cartoon character now, but when his broken knees and playboy ego wound up at Villa Park, it was about as clever a business decision as letting a dog eat your tax papers. Nicolo Zaniolo is a talented 24-year-old Italian winger, yes, but he was chased out of Roma earlier this year. His form had fallen off a cliff. He was booed by his own fans. He was demanding a monster contract renewal to make him the joint highest paid earner at the club, alongside Paulo Dybala, and eventually he was flushed out of Turkey via Galatasaray. This is a man who already turned down the Premier League in January, saying no to Bournemouth, which caused the Roma president to almost throw a tantrum in his office. Then Zaniolo changed his mind and decided he did want to join them, swapping Jose Mourinho for Gary O'Neill. But he left it too late. He is an annoying character, and considering they just signed Wilfried Zaha, I don't think anybody at Gala is bothered about turfing out this troublesome brat with a Jake Paul ego out to Birmingham after 6 months. But I'm just so confused why Emery wants to inflict this Italian problem child on his squad. Zaniolo is such a prima donna. He's probably more suited to that hideous show about Kardashians. Give it 6 months, and he'll probably be found raising a child with Kanye West. And name the child, I don't know, ? Bournemouth Tyler Adams. You know what? There's actually a very good signing. It was an ambitious play when Leeds wrapped up a £20 million deal to take Tyler Adams from Bayern Munich last summer, and it's exactly the same with Bournemouth buying him from Leeds for that same amount. Adams is a quality 24-year-old central midfielder, although he'll probably start crying halfway through his medical. This is a man who had literally completed a Chelsea medical last week. He really thought he was going to be the next Michael Essien. He'd probably even bought a season ticket for his mum. He was part of that weird love triangle with Caicedo and Lavia. So to instead wind up having the house hunt beside a pebbly beach in a retirement village where Graham Souness is the big celebrity, where Harry Redknapp could probably be found topless and munching pies outside the local church. Oh, it's all a bit grim. Great signing for Bournemouth. But to wind up with this miniature club just days after literally going through a Chelsea medical, it's a bit like doing a successful audition for Britain's Got Talent. And then a week later, the producers at ITV changed their mind, and so you're instead just doing toast paintings for drunk punters down the pub. Brentford Connor Young. Brentford want Rangers teenage fullback Connor Young. It's caused a bit of a fuss in Scotland, but other than that, I think the bees are done. Brighton Carlos Balaba. So this is it. Brighton are replacing a £100 million Caicedo with... Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it's not Caicedo, is it? Not Caicedo, no, it's Kai. Now I really do sound like Thogden chatting to Rooney's kids. At least it wasn't Thog Dad. Then I think I might actually phone the police. But listen, in typical hipster fashion, Brighton are making a £15 million bid for Lille's 19-year-old midfielder Carlos Balaba. Word to the wise, top 4 clubs, cut out the middleman, just trust in Brighton scouts, and just buy this boy now before he becomes a £100 million midfielder in 2.5 years. Honestly, before he turns into Pogba on steroids. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. Just sign him now? I know it's very cheeky, and you're blatantly just copying Brighton's homework, but trust me, it'll probably work. Burnley, Aaron Ramsey. If you were told a year ago that Aaron Ramsey would soon wind up at Burnley, you'd probably think, yeah, that's about right. I suppose Sean Dyche was trying to convince this Welsh cheesecake to leave Juventus for them 18 months ago. I mean, instead of just sitting in a cold Italian hotel room, shoving ice cream and lasagna in his mouth. That sounds like a terrible mix. I bet it tastes like chewing off a panda's foot. But this is the second different Aaron Ramsey that Burnley have had on their shopping list. I mean, the Welsh one is in the Championship with Cardiff, while Company is getting his hands on Jacob's brother. Jacob's brother. Wasn't that the smoke monster of Lost? Again, I bet no one here has seen that show. No one gets these jokes. But no, Aaron Ramsey's a 20-year-old attacking midfielder at Villa Park, and they're signing him for £14 million. Do you think anybody on planet Earth would pay £14 million for the other Ramsey? The one with broken limbs, a schoolboy haircut, and with every game in a Cardiff shirt is probably getting increasingly more jealous of Gareth Bale having the freedom to just play golf every day. So this is it. Once this deal goes through and then it's official, Aaron Ramsey's little namesake is now officially better than him. He's been overtaken. He's not even the best Aaron Ramsey in football anymore. That's embarrassing. Chelsea, Romeo Lavia. This is weird, also very weird. Listen, Romeo Lavia is a top 90-year midfielder and a quality Chelsea buy from Southampton. But it's strange. Liverpool had a £111 million deal agreed with Brighton from Caicedo, only for him to turn them down for Chelsea. And Liverpool finally wrap up a £60 million deal for their Plan B Lavia, only for him to want Chelsea too. How greedy can you possibly be? It's like two brothers opening their Christmas presents, except the dominant brother takes the other kids' toys too. Come on, Chelsea, don't be greedy. Leave something for Liverpool. It would have been logical for Lavia, especially after seeing what happens when you quit Southampton for Liverpool, for him to wind up at Anfield and take an immediate starting position in the field. But he's agreed to just, go somewhere where there's already two £100 million midfielders blocking his path into that two-man midfield. Liverpool, his competition would be, Stefan Bajcetic or Curtis Jones? Or dare I say, Tyler Morton? Yeah, wasn't he the guy at Fight Club? This is Romeo's worst decision since he eloped with a 13-year-old girl. Oh, wait, no, that was from the Shakespeare play. Yeah. They were kids. Crystal Palace, Che Adams. You know what? I'm not even surprised. This is such a Crystal Palace signing up front. Che Adams is very much what Christian Benteke soon became. A bumbling, clumsy mountain troll with a personal allergy to goals. Adams was so laughably inefficient in front of goal for Southampton in this division. Just 25 league goals across 4 seasons. I think we're all beginning to see why Coventry released him as a child, and now Palace want him. It is such a boring mid-signing. I mean, isn't that what all the children say now these days? Mid? Seeing him on Roy Hodgson's shopping list. It's a bit like hearing that your mum is making veggie oatmeal for tea. Imagine losing a mini Ronaldinho like Michael Olise, and in the same afternoon, unveiling some junior bodybuilder who probably stinks of whey protein and steak. Just let him go to Goodison Park. Not only do they have a striker shortage, but Everton is literally his middle name. Everton Alex McCarthy. Yeah, here's another strange transfer that's probably about to happen. Alex McCarthy is a 33-year-old Southampton goalie who has wrists made of chocolate pie. He's just your typical backup goalie, who, to be fair, did try to carve out a career as a number 1, even turning down Liverpool 10 years ago to go to QPR, where he did just wind up on the bench anyway. And he really does have 1 cap for England, but I think conceding 9 goals in 1 game sort of tormented his confidence. And yeah, everyone wanted him to play second fiddle to Jordan Pickford, to just be another Begovic. It's not that weird, I suppose, but it's just a bit boring. Fulham, nobody. Fulham don't want anyone else. I think they're pretty much done. Next, Liverpool, Manu Kone. Who knows? Who knows what Liverpool are going to do now? They've lost both midfield targets to Chelsea. So, who is next? What defensive midfielder are they actually going to buy? But they need to be smart, because the last thing they want to get is a dodgy DM. Just like Rooney's son. I'm sorry, that's the last one, okay? But listen, Liverpool are probably going to sign 22-year-old French midfielder Manu Kone, who plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, has only just started running again after an injury. Listen, he's probably a decent player, but Liverpool have shown him now that he's at least their 3rd or 4th choice, so when he gets unveiled at Anfield, isn't it all just going to feel very meh? Very much a case of, I guess you'll do? Liverpool have played this awfully. Luton Town, Tim Krul. Well, Ross Barkley was already a weird transfer that went through. I mean, it was only 5 minutes ago. He was on a £200,000 a week contract at Chelsea, and now he's playing in a stadium built in someone's back garden, and I can only imagine he's probably just getting paid in cheese toasties and a free Cineworld card. But Luton want a new number 1 goalkeeper, and they've decided to reach into the past. First, they targeted Birmingham's John Ruddy. Yes, 10 years ago he was involved in England squads and wanted by Chelsea, but now he's nearly 40 and just looks like an angry egg, like Humpty Dumpty with Roy Rage. Well, they're about to sign Tim Krul from Norwich instead. Again, someone who hit his peak in 2014. Ever since that World Cup, it's been a slow slide. He didn't get a look in at Brighton, was relegated twice with Norwich, has mostly been sitting on the championship bench for an entire year, trying to make a Premier League #1 out of a Norwich #2. I'm sorry, but Krull is expired. Man City looks Paqueta. How rare is it for Manchester City to bother little old West Ham twice in one summer? First writing a £90 million paycheck for Declan Rice, and now returning with £70 million for Lucas Paqueta. West Ham haven't had this much summer attention since they had Tevez and Mascherano on their books. This Paqueta thing is weird, and almost a lifeline for his career, because a year ago, he and Bruno Guimaraes were mentioned in the same breath. They had been best buddies in Leon's midfield, and yet it was Paqueta who was starting for Brazil, not Bruno. Surely Paqueta would soon be playing Champions League football for an absolute European giant. And then, for some reason, gets a very late August move to West Ham to play in the Europa Conference League. Instead of moving to a monster European champion, he was just being unveiled by one of the sidemen. And not even the good one in KSI. No, it was just a chunky one who takes selfies at the gym. It honestly looked like Paqueta was the one getting left behind. He had fallen into the trap that Wanderers and Riquelme had managed to avoid when he said no to West Ham. To be fair, he also stayed at Villarreal way too long. Can you imagine how good he would have looked playing the number 10 role in a Chelsea midfield under Carlo Ancelotti? Right now, Paqueta is probably swatting up a Man City sisteree. His mum is probably being instructed to pretend that Alana was his favorite player growing up in Brazil. But this is a lifeline. Suddenly, after stupidly signing a 5-year deal at West Ham, oh no, a year later, he is still going to join his buddy Bruno in the Champions League. He's a lucky boy. Man United, Amadou Onana. Man United are trying to sign Onana. I thought this transfer saga was done. It's over. He's already in goal, climbing on footballers as if they're tree trunks. He's already giving away penalties in a Man United shirt. I mean, I can only assume that the people in the VAR studio were too busy just watching TikToks of Bryce Hall on their phone. But yes, Man United have approached Everton about signing Onana. Amadou this time. He's a good player, yes, but Christ above. With all the Onanas being unveiled at Old Trafford, the staff at Carrington should probably be relieved that there's no more Pogba or Lingard, because you just know if those two hyperactive influencers were still there on Snapchat, they'd be singing Rihanna songs through every training session.
Onana! What's my name? Onana! What's my name?
If I were somebody like Luke Shaw, I'd probably be bringing earplugs to work. Either that or just go down to the local zoo and let a feral bunny rabbit bite off my ears. Newcastle Marco Curvella. Newcastle's next signing will be a left back on loan. Either Kieran Tierney or Marco Curvella. The former signing would make huge sense, but the latter, signing a £60 million Chelsea flop, someone who I'm going to say it is the biggest left back disaster in Premier League history, even having that David Luiz haircut, just made it easier for people to look at him and call him a clown. It's weird, so weird that just a year ago, Man City were willing to pay close to £50 million to take him out of Brighton, and yet he wound up at Stamford Bridge and was like a penguin on ice. So I don't know. Eddie Howe wanting to bring a fella who failed for a team who finished 12th, wanting to give him a shortcut into Champions League football. It does feel a bit weird. Nottingham Forest, Matheus Nascimento. Crystal Palace are in the business of signing Brazil wonder kids right now, having already landed the sought after Matheus Franca. Apparently they also want to buy Botafogo striker Matheus Nascimento for £15 million. Only for Nottingham Forest to apparently hijack the deal. This is a 19-year-old wonder kid striker who's already played for Brazil under 20s, and instead of spending one more year in Brazil, striking up a partnership with Diego Costa, he's going to move to Forest and then be immediately loaned out to Greece. If I was Nascimento, spending a year learning under Costa, sure his bad influence will rub off on you, and I'm sure soon enough you will be squatting in the ditch, munching on a kitten, wondering what on earth happened. But I genuinely believe staying at Botafogo for one more year and playing alongside Costa suits him far better than just trying to be a cross between Robin Hood and Hercules. Does anyone get that joke? Sheffield United, Pashlin Kasami. Well, Sheffield United are probably feeling sore, having lost the race to sign Middlesbrough striker Chuba Akpom, who is apparently off to Ajax. I'm guessing Michael Carrick is now probably having to be talked out off a balcony. Anyway, there have been strange links to free agent Pashlin Kasami. You know, some guy who scored one of the greatest goals in Premier League history 10 years ago and did nothing else with his career. Apparently Sheffield United want him, but why? Tottenham gift Orban. We are about to see Tottenham get weird. They sold Harry Kane and now actually have to go into the market. And for the first time since they bought Roberto Soldado 10 years ago, they actually have to sign a first choice centre forward. They've received the same fee from Bayern Munich that they got off Real Madrid when they sold Gareth Bale. And then Daniel Levy sprinkled that cash over about 9 different flops. So you would expect him to now blow a significant chunk of that money on a proven European striker, but no, they've gone for a weird hipster buy, something that Brighton would do. Gift Orban is a talented striker, 21 years old, yet to be capped by Nigeria, but 44 goals in 49 games across stints in Norway and Belgium. Last season he scored a 3-minute hat-trick in the Europa Conference League. That sounds great, but he's scoring these goals in terrible competitions. It's a gamble. A massive gamble. West Ham Jesse Lingard. How many of you were wondering what on earth had happened to Jesse Lingard? Well, he's back training with West Ham, and you just know what that means. He's going to get a contract. 2 years ago, Jay Ling's brother was hitting out at West Ham fans on social media because they didn't want to sign him on a permanent deal. So to see him now hovering in their reserves, using their gym facilities, essentially being a 30-year-old man on trial for a club where he was briefly their star player, it's all just a bit degrading. Wolves Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel. To Wolves? Surely not. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think is the weirdest one? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.